Idris, I'm going to start with you. Can you describe to my viewers exactly the level of swag that Regina has in this film? Because she throws, sorry, I swear, she throws down. Describe to my viewers her level of swag in this.
Next level swag. It's next level swag because aesthetically, she looks amazing. She's beautiful. But also internally, the swag is dope because she's a female character that does not have to be reliant on a male character to justify her presence in the film. In fact, Trudy Smith is a character on her own. So the swag is not only just how she looks and how she carries herself and how she fights, but how she is an equal partner. Definitely mad swag.
Now, kind of talk to me, because these were all real people. Now, the situations are a bit elaborated, but kind of expand on that.
Well, the story is fictional, but all the characters in the story are real, right? From Rufus Buck, as played by Idris Elba, Nat Love, as played by the wonderful young legend Jonathan Majors. They're all real characters, and what was my inspiration for that was so people could watch this movie and then go and research all of these people after they've watched it and know that people of color and women existed in that period and weren't slaves or weren't less than human and were not subservient. They just existed because they were there. And you do that by exhibiting proof, which is having them all play real characters.
Regina, kind of talk to me about, being on the horse. You have some scenes on horses. What is that like, being on such, this powerful beast that could do whatever it wants, basically?
I'm 6'3" in my heart, but I had a really, really, really tall horse. And you watch this film, a lot of this is about timing, symmetry. So, trying to get off the horse at the same time and same speed as Idris Elba was not an easy feat. That was the hardest part of the entire film.
Really?
So out of all the cast, kind of rank who was the best on the horses and who was the worst?
I tell you who was the worst on the horse, the absolute worst rider of a horse in the history of riders of a horse. Even the horses looked at him and said, "Don't even mount me." It was me. There you go. There you have it. But everyone else was amazing. Them horses knew what happened. If I mounted them, I'd be bucked right off. I was just like, let me direct this movie. But
final question, Idris. Esquire has named you the coolest man alive. You were previously the sexiest man alive. Is it better to be cool or sexy?
Cool. It's better to be cool because cool is relevant to many different things. Sexy is objective, it's like not everyone finds me sexy, but I can be cool in many situations. How's that for an answer?
Thank you guys so much. I love this film. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mad swag. Definitely mad swag.
And Regina,
your check is in the mail, Idris.
Huh?
Your check is in the mail.
No. You got to get him a Cadillac. That's what he needs. You got connections at Cadillac. Get that man a Cadillac.
Yes, you do.
But Regina, kind of talk to me. You've said that this isn't your grandmother's Western. This is not a John Wayne kind of Western. Why is this film so unique?
Well, because it's through the eyes of James Samuel, and he is so unique, and the way he has just part of the beauty of filmmaking or watching films is the way the music supports the images. And when James was writing this film, he was writing it to music, and so there's a rhythm that this film has, that this story has, that is truly unique, and that's what was so attractive about this piece going in.
Idris, when we last spoke, it was for Concrete Cowboy, and I know you're allergic to horses. Did your allergy get any better? I mean, you literally got back up on the horse. Talk to me about being...
in boxing, when the champion wins and they say, and still, I am still allergic. That's me all day. But by the way, I didn't have to do as much horseplay in this film. I did it once or twice, so I'm okay. Antihistamines, a little pickle juice, I'm good.
first, I watched the film last night, and I have to ask you, there is a scene with you and Regina where you two throw the F down. And I want to know, what was that like with you when you're in that moment and you guys are fighting and things are getting thrown? What was that like?
It's funny because, I think the scene is definitely, it was meant to kind of look scrappy and look intense and look raw and unfiltered, I suppose. There's different ways you can depict a fight in a movie. You can make it really polished, or you can make it feel kind of dirty. And so we had to rehearse a lot to make sure kind of like a messy fight was safe, particularly since it included a lot of props and a lot of movement. It's a really long fight. But I do think, as a performer, you practice and you practice and practice. And then when it comes down to it, you're always at like 85%, and then you give the 110, and it like always feels pretty wild. But, because of, I think, like the muscle memory, it ended up, it was great. And we obviously had the support of our stunt team, and they were wonderful in helping us navigate like the physicality of it, and also some of the things her or I couldn't do. There's a couple of little flips and things like that. So I had a great time doing that. That was actually really great bonding moment for Regina and myself.
Any onset injuries during this shoot? Because it's physical, like you're on the horses, you're like, how did you fare?
Yeah, I can't think of any big injuries. I did have one thing, which sounds really minor, but has been very annoying. This is silly, but I sprained my thumb on this shoot. And this was like a year ago, and it still bothers me. Like, I was just telling my partner a couple of days ago, I was like, I think I want to splint it. And this was a while ago. So I guess that's a sustained injury, but not anything that dramatic, I suppose.
I didn't even know that was possible to sprain a thumb, but.
Or I don't know, something happened. I don't know what happened, but it's still fucked up. So.
Okay, first, there's not a whole lot of forgiving, and there's not a whole lot of forgetting in this movie. Like, people get freaking taken to town. So I want to know, in your own life, do you forgive and forget, or do you kind of sometimes let things linger?
I forgive. I never forget. Yeah, no, and it's not even an option. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, I'll forgive and let go. You know what I mean? It's like, it's fine, it's cool, but I'm over here.
How would you say kind of working? How would you say kind of working on Lovecraft prepped you for this role?
Well, I guess movie making or storytelling is interesting because there's like a meta that's also going on while you're telling the story. Like, I personally, there's no separation, between who you are as a person in the world and who you are as an artist, and like that behavior is the same, and some things I didn't know, I hadn't done it yet, like in Lovecraft Country, it's the character of Atticus that's leading the story, that's propelling the story. You know what I mean? It's up to him. There's a certain responsibility to that, and I hadn't done that before, before Lovecraft, and so I had already done that. I know how to a degree, I have an understanding of what my position is here on this set. And that was helpful, especially because of the circumstances that we shot, The Harder They Fall. And at the height of the pandemic, the weather's crazy. There's horses involved, there's a lot of people involved, there's a lot of talent involved, there's never enough time, what that looks like, and how to shoulder that.
You have very physical scenes with Idris. I won't get too into them. I don't want to give too much away, but you two, you come to terms. When you were reading that part in the script where, you and Idris kind of throw down, where you're like, I don't want to, I don't want to hurt him. I don't want him to hurt me. How did you go into that scene?
Bring it, come, yeah, like, bring it, it's a necessity, that's the hero's journey, and both of them, uh, Rufus Buck and Nat Love, are on their own hero's journey, and we both represent the dragon for each other, you know, and the wizard for each other. And you have to slay the dragon, you know. You just has to happen. So there was no fear. It made a lot of sense, you know. And there's so much trust between the two. There's so much trust between myself and Driss, you know, and so much. We were shooting at the same target, so it was fun.